Hi, I'm John Russell, editor of HPCwire, here at SC16, and with me Jim Ganthier, now of Dell EMC, and Jim is Senior VP, SVP, Senior VP of Validated Solutions and HPC. I think that's a slight change, maybe you'll talk about that.
It is, and by the way, it's for the good.
And it's for the good. And also Ed Turkel. Ed is the Senior Strategist, again for Dell EMC. We're going to have to start to learn this new language, right? So there's a lot going on. I thought maybe we would start by giving us a synopsis of some of the news. What is Dell EMC bringing to the show?
Lots of great news. So the first thing we're talking about is what we're doing in the area of life sciences. As you well know, last year at SC15, we said we were going to disrupt, democratize, and mainstream HPC. Move it out of the realm of academia and government and actually make it available to enterprises of all sizes. What we've been able to do in the life sciences space, and now with new innovations like the 6320, we're actually manifesting or delivering exactly on that. That's one. But it's not also just about what the products are, it's also about what we're doing with partnerships. As you can see, we're close to one of our great partners. Right. There's Intel here, there's NVIDIA there, Mellanox, SGI. So in the area of partnerships, we're doing some really wonderful things with Intel. So one of just the multiple things that we're doing with Intel is what we're doing right now on Cryon EM. And so in Cryon EM, we're able to take all that HPC computational firepower and allow folks to look at multi-dimensional modules. So one of the things, or one of the reasons why that's important is because now what we can do is we can actually do personalized medicine and speed up the recovery piece. And then we're doing the same thing in multiple areas with NVIDIA, we're doing the same thing with Mellanox, but one of the ones we're really excited about is the fact of we're now working with cycle computing and bringing cloud to HPC.
Lots going on. Obviously.
Lots going on.
And all under this new framework of Dell EMC. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What's happening in the sense of what should we think of when we think of Dell EMC?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, one of the other pieces of news today, and I think everybody in the audience knows Addison Snell of Intersect 360. Ed and I were chatting with them, and basically the data point that we got is if you look at server and storage, the combinatorial of Dell EMC actually makes us now #1 in HPC. So instead of 1 + 1 = 2, the combinatorial of the Dell intellectual property with all of the great stuff that EMC was doing, combined as Dell EMC. We like to joke, we call that our version of math, 1 + 1 = 5. And the beauty of it is, imagine when you can take things like Isilon, when you can take things like DSSD, how fast, how accurate, and equally as important, the differentiation we can go drive to help innovators get to that faster time to result. That's why Ed and I are so excited, and that's why you can see all the excitement at the Dell EMC booth.
And it sounds like the integration is going very well at this point?
Swimmingly well. As a matter of fact, both of us have been through, we'll call it 2 or 3 integrations. Some good, some not. We won't mention them by name. This one, on day 1, September 7th, not only were we one combined company, but equally as important, we actually had product on day 1. So what you're starting to see now, and equally as important, you're going to start to see accelerate, is a lot of the great innovations. I'll name a few, not that I want to ignore any of the products. Isilon, DSSD, Scale.io, ECS, all of those we're starting to bring to bear in our HPC solutions, and the feedback from customers has been phenomenal.
Yeah, so you can cover a solution much more completely now.
Absolutely, and you see that in our booth. So we intentionally focused the demonstrations of the booth not around products but around solutions, around the vertical focus that we put. Jim mentioned Cryo EM, focused on life sciences. You look at the whole life sciences solution set, we have Cryo EM, we have a machine learning demonstration using machine learning to actually recognize DNA images. And we have our Dell EMC HPC system for life sciences for genomics, and at that station also highlighting Isilon and the new Isilon all-flash, because Isilon is very, very heavily used in the genomics community. So we bring all that to bear as a portfolio of solutions leading towards personalized medicine and so on and so forth, and then doing the same thing in research, in FSI, in manufacturing, and so on.
Yeah. So all of these pieces, going back to your title change, validated solutions, if you will, get all these pieces together and knit them into specific solutions wide enough for problem but not so wide that it's everything. Is that kind of the idea?
Kind of. Think of it this way. So again, at Dell EMC, our customers are North Star. That's what we start every day waking up thinking about. And what we've heard loud and clear with EMC, look, it takes too long, it's very complicated, I really need expertise. I want to focus on innovation and time to discovery as opposed to focusing on the infrastructure. So part of what you see happening, and that's the reason why we created innovations, not just at the product level, but at the partnership level, at the ecosystem level, and even at the tools level, like what we've done with System Builder, all of that is so we can have our customers start to focus on time to discovery, time to result. Let us worry about the infrastructure, let them go focus on the innovation. I mean, Michael has a great phrase, which is, we stand at the intersection of human potential and technology. Our job is to go enable human potential. We want to make HPC available so we can unleash all of those innovators and let them go solve some of our world's biggest problems.
How does Systems Builder work? Perhaps tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so System Builder at its very core is a very easy concept. So instead of coming in and saying, hey, we're going to go build a system together, how many Intel E5 2700 processors would you like? We actually start with business outcomes, which, since Ed mentioned life sciences, let's use a life science one. How many genomes do you plan on looking at today? Are you going to keep them on-prem or off-prem? What category and class of software are you utilizing for them? We ask a lot of business and result-oriented outcomes, and as a result of that, it not only gives you a config, it gives you a quote that's modifiable, but if you like it as is, you can order it. And in essence, what we've done, drop the amount of time, drop the amount of risk, drop the amount of uncertainty, and radically reduce the time to have that capability in place so they can go focus on what they do best, which is innovation.
Is this an automated tool that people can use it, or is it something that requires consultation with somebody from
No, actually it's publicly facing on our website.
Okay, so you can go right to the website and use this.
Correct.
That's a powerful approach.
Now, in all fairness, I mean, this is for, we'll call it SMB enterprise-like.
Absolutely.
As you well know, we also build some of the largest, fastest supercomputers in the world. I mean, one of the things we're very proud of is the fact of we power TAC, which is the Texas Advanced Computing Center. As you well know, when she first came out, it's still in the top 20 of the world. That's more of a consultative conversation, but since our stated intent is to make it available to enterprises of all sizes, System Builder is one of the tools that allows us to get to that lower level.
You talk about overcoming barriers to the deployment of HPC, and of course I know you're a supporter, I can remember, of OpenHPC.
One of the founding members of.
The idea of a sort of reference standard stack that can make things a whole lot easier. Maybe tell us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, we're very close to the Intel booth. Great partnership. If we think about the fact of we were one of the founding members of OpenHPC, if you think about the fact of we're also one of the members of the Scalable System Framework, one of the announcements we have today is we're talking about HPC Orchestrator. How do you manage, how do you configure, how do you procure an HPC stack and still keep it up and operational and do it in a very easy, fast way? And then as Ed mentioned, the great partnerships. I mean, we talk a lot about product because we're engineers at heart, but partnerships and ecosystems are very impressive. Partnerships and ecosystems with Intel, University of Cambridge and Dr. Paul Kaleja, the great work he's doing there. University of Pisa, where we're looking at machine learning and deep learning, all utilizing the Intel technologies of either OPA or KNL. And the net is that we're doing the same thing with someone that you know really well, Dr. Happy Sotole, who proudly now has the fastest supercomputer on the African continent. Those are the kind of things we're bringing to bear in addition to SMEs. SMEs, as Ed mentioned, manufacturing, life sciences, research, oil and gas, and a few others. That's how we're making sure that HPC is now available to a broad swath of folks. And we're also going to do the same things for big data and cloud, as we mentioned with Cycle.
Right, the workflows are changing because the traditional that we used to think of as HPC, and now we have these accelerated databases that said, machine learning workloads all in the same infrastructure and something you can handle. I wanted to change just for a second to the top 500. Certainly KNL and OPA have demonstrated great traction this year. That's a huge thing. What is the Dell EMC view of the top 500? Is that something that you want to place higher, place lower? What's the performance now, and what's your thought of its value?
So it's got value, but it's a metric. As a general manager, some of my metrics happen to be revenue, units, margin, and growth.
Absolutely.
But going above and beyond that, it's a great way of looking at what are some of the marquee systems in the world, we actually participate. As a matter of fact, we've gotten many more this year, I won't go into the number itself, than we did last year. To really make you smile, one of the things that we've been able to do is create an innovation sandbox. Our innovation sandbox is a platform that we refer to as our Zenith platform. It's on the T500 list. It actually debuted at 372, and we're far from done. So again, to me, and I'll let Ed talk since Ed's been involved with the T500.
You're doing fine.
No, but kidding aside, it is a metric. Our bigger metric, how fast we're growing, the number of customers we're serving, the types of infrastructure we're bringing to bear, the ecosystems we're putting in place, and equally as important, the energy and the excitement that you see over in our booth. But sure. Ed knows the T500 list well. I'll let him.
Well, and I think you said it right. Our interest our goal isn't specifically place systems on the top 500 list. Top 500 list is a metric of the reality of our business, which is we are intent in deploying more larger systems. Sure. Bringing our experience with folks like TAC to bear to be able to deliver the next level of multi-petaflop systems, and we have our eyes on the big numbers as well as everybody else. So we're here now. We talked over the last months about winning the contract for Stampede 2.0. For example, that's going to be a next big system that we'll be talking about pieces of that at ISC next June.
And it'll probably be in the top 10 based on our calculations.
Certainly be up there. And we just added another system at MIT Lincoln Labs that went on the list this Monday at 106. And again, there's a good example of really putting systems in place not as LINPACK experiments, but as systems that are doing real work, real science, in the case of MIT Lincoln Labs, to support their mission, which is a mission around, supporting the national good.
So if you think about it,
I'm just going to say that it's interesting that the lessons go both ways now. Instead of the technology just trickling down, it really is trickling in both directions.
Well, and that's our intent.
Right. Well, and we talk about two terms. We talk about democratizing, but we talk about advancing and democratizing. And I like to reference that as the typical market pyramid, right, where the number of very large systems at the top of the pyramid is very few, and the number of small systems is very wide, right? So we're expanding the base, that's democratizing, and we're advancing the state of the art, that's advancing. So bringing systems up market, as well as expanding the base.
And let me tie it back to the whole Dell EMC thing. So one of the items that we're actually showing in the booth is what we refer to as two-tier architecture. And if you look at the two-tier architecture, to Ed's exact point, done with us and unnamed national labs, but the performance that we're going to be able to deliver, the time reduction in terms of calculation because we were able to take a differentiated approach, now that comes in from the EMC side. You add our capabilities from the compute, networking, partnership ecosystem on the Dell side, it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Well, congratulations on I guess it's a merger more than anything else between these two huge companies now with this enormous resource. We love the new toys in the toy box, and we can't wait to unleash some of those as systems. We didn't talk about cloud at all, and it's pretty hard not to talk about sort of that area. Did you want to say anything about sort of the...
Absolutely. We've been saying it since last year. And by the way, Earl from IDC agrees with us. One of the things beyond the mainstreaming, democratizing of HPC is we also see this phenomenon that we hear over and over again from customers. What if I could take that computational firepower and aim it at some of the largest problems we have? Hence the creation of HPDA. But we've also heard, and we were in a community event on Saturday all day, is, hey, you know what? I also need to understand how to go do cloud. And the reason for that is sometimes I may not want to have the infrastructure on-prem. I may not want to have the infrastructure and own it myself. I may just need access to go do it. So one of the other announcements we're doing is the work that Dell EMC is bringing to bear with cycle computing. And so with cycle computing, now folks will have the capability of managing and orchestrating HPC capabilities in the cloud, or as we like to joke, you can actually perhaps start it on-prem, and if you happen to need additional capabilities, if you happen to need to just get more capacity, you can quickly, easily, seamlessly do it, and when you're done, release those back into the pool.
Wow.
Well, and again, doing that not just for compute, and again, the power that we have as Dell EMC, because we're doing it for compute and data. So again, the 2 tiers demo that we're showing in the booth is showing a very innovative way of using very high volume, very low cost cloud storage, but then migrating the data into very fast flash-based DSSD D5 storage locally to be able to operate on it very quickly, remove the data bottlenecks in your computation, but again, get that benefit at the same time of that low-cost, high-volume cloud storage and combine the messages there.
Totally changing the equation, totally changing the way people look at HPC.
So, what haven't I asked that I should ask?
What you haven't asked us about are what we're perhaps doing in the area of machine learning and deep learning, which again, as Ed started to highlight, when you think about not just what we can do computationally, but do it in a fashion where it is seeing it beforehand, it's actually becoming assistive too. There's some great, interesting examples that we're showing there with some of the work we've done with University of Pisa. And then one of the other things we should probably have a conversation on is what we're doing with this larger ecosystem. It's not just about our products, our partners, and to some extent, the really great SMEs we have. We also have this very vibrant ecosystem, and it's literally almost like a collective of folks who are working on all of these programs together, sharing that information and making it available to the greater good.
Well, thank you for your time. I hope you have a great conference. It's going to be fascinating from the journalist point of view, to watch the EMC Dell partnership singularity and however it sort of becomes defined as you evolve. It's new. We're still trying to understand it. It seems like there's a lot of capability there. Wish you the best.
Thanks. And by the way, it'll be great for customers and partners.
Well, thanks very much.
Nice seeing you again.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Ed, as always.